So during the off season, Insight Racing, we kind of got together and discussed some cars that we were going to build because of our 3 Series was totaled at Road America. So, we talked a little with BMW, and this is a more modern, up-to-date model that's, relevant to their marketplace. So, that's when we decided to do the 128. And to be honest, when you start looking at the car, it's going to be pretty competitive. It tracks like this, I think the BMW tends to be a little bit slower, but once we get in the thick of it in the middle of the season, this car is going to be amazing. Having said that, we'd made that decision fairly late, and we got the car, and these guys have been thrashing for the past 3 weeks. They pretty much built this car in 3 weeks, every day, 15, 16-hour days, to the point where it was getting buttoned up, getting on the trailer to get down here. So the first time it's churned a wheel was in practice this morning, and we were just doing some installation laps, and as you can imagine with a new car build, there's going to be little things here and there, so we're kind of just going through that process right now. Because of the gap that we have between Daytona and Barber, we're simply just trying to come in here and get some points and keep the car clean, and then we have a pretty big test program in between the 2 races to where we can do all the things that we really wanted to do before Daytona and go into Barber full steam ahead and hopefully get some podiums. Ryan Ellis is brand new to the team. He came from APR, Rookie of the Year last year. I think he was 3rd in points. So I think he definitely deserves this position to be over here with us. He's excited. He's young. He's asking a lot of questions. I've been doing the racing deal for a long time, and I can kind of remember back when I was at his age, and just trying to absorb everything. So it's great having him on here so far. I think we've been communicating really well, and I think we'll gel throughout the year. But it's still real early on. We have yet to see if our driving styles are the same, so that's going to be a hurdle that we need to get over this weekend, making sure that we like the same setup. I think we're both willing to compromise a little bit, but he proved to us last year he's a clean racer. He's able to go out there, keep the car clean, and give it speed for the end. It can be a little tricky. I've never really had a problem switching in between racing and drifting. It's kind of like someone playing golf and basketball. You're using like the same hand-eye coordinations, but it's a totally different mindset. So I haven't had that much of a problem until this last year, and I think most of the time I've been racing, it's been higher horsepower cars, whereas in the ST car, it's more of a momentum car. You really have to finesse it, and in drifting, you really got to take the car and just try and strangle it by its neck and really overdrive it and almost drive it angry. So it had a little effect on my drifting, where I wasn't being aggressive enough, and I really had to focus on it a little bit more. But I think I have a kind of a handle on that now, so I think going in between them should be fine. Unfortunately, there are a couple of conflicts, but I'm on the East Coast, so I'm hoping to do some double duty. That's the plan right now, as long as the schedules line up. So maybe I could get some help on that. I'm not so sure there's a benefit with my drifting. I mean, obviously any race driver needs car control, and the more you have, the more you can push the car towards the limits. But it's kind of a double-edged sword, because in ST, you absolutely don't want to overdrive the car. You don't want to slide it at all, because you don't have the power to kind of recover from that. So it definitely gives me the ability to drive a little bit harder and push a little bit harder in the corners, because I'm totally comfortable with saving the car. But it has helped me over the years to be a little bit quicker. I'm definitely the type of driver that needs to hold myself back instead of a driver that the crew's trying to push to get a time out of the car. So I think that can be better as long as I have that control to bring the rings back a little bit. Racing's my background. That's what I started in, so it's much easier for me to get in a race car and just be like, all right, let's go, and I understand the task at hand. Whereas in drifting, it takes a couple of runs for me to get back in that groove, but I really do. It's all about anticipation. Whether you're racing or drifting, and you're really anticipating what you're going to go do. But in drifting, you have to spend all of your time past the limits of the car. If you're under the limits of the car, you're going straight and you'll get a 0. So that's no good. Whereas in racing, you're trying to ride that line of not underdriving it, but not overdriving it. So you got a smaller window to really get it right. But I guess I've just become accustomed to going back and forth, so it's not that much work. But I love doing both. I love driving cars.